here, he was gonna throw for a bullseye,
And if
and it
Aaron's
would have been
going to
over.
throw for a bullseye, it's lights out.
Yeah, and Strawn did it anyway, owned that moment, and threw and hit that clutch, and the place lost their minds. And it was a great moment.
So this is a match I've really been looking forward to seeing. So
yeah,
Kump out of Philadelphia, and then my man Matt, he's from, I believe, North Carolina.
That's right. Yeah.
So I was talking to him earlier today, and they said that him and some of his friends from North Carolina had gone to Baltimore, and they just didn't like how they performed. They weren't happy with it. They went home, and they watched a bunch of live streams, a bunch of YouTube videos, and they started learning how the best throwers were throwing. And he spent the last 2 months staying late, woodshedding, working hard, and he's here now. So that tells you how much his commitment has done for him. It's really amazing that he's come this far.
Oh, both of these players have made it to this point in a remarkably short amount of time.
Unbelievable pace.
I mean, Kump has won 2 events in skills last night. He's been beating the best of the best. So has Haz-Matt, and both of them have a fairly short life story of axe throwing story to this point. You know, they put in the time, they put in the work, they've dissected the best throwers, and here they are. You know, now they're one of the best.
I was actually talking to Kump earlier tonight, and I asked him if there was any sort of secret to his like pretty meteoric rise to success that's happened like in the last 8 months, from never throwing an axe before to being a top contender in this tournament. And he said that he had 23 years of bowling experience.
That's
that bowling experience kind of played into muscle memory, understanding how to control yourself under pressure, and it's just.
That's right. He was a professional, competitive bowler.
Exactly. So that even though they're completely different sports in the sense of the actual action you're doing, they're very similar sports in the sense of you take your time, one shot at a time, and. Yeah, just
and consistency.
Consistency,
right? The same
is
motion
key.
every time, the same release, the same fluid process. You know, of drawing the axe back and moving forward. Everything's got to be the same if you want to be consistent. You've got to pay attention to all that stuff, and that I think is definitely comparable between competitive
and just both, just killers, just doing a great job.
So you can see we got 1 round each. That last one Haz-Matt took with the clutch, and that was him putting things out of reach, because I think Kump had a 3 in that second round. They're going all bullseyes so far in this one.
Yeah. I was really quite amazed with Kump's performance at skills last night.
Yeah,
him and Stefan went to first a 15 in a row bull off, and then went to a clutch off. That was in Around the World, right?
That's right. They tied in Around the World, which is one of our skills matches where you have to throw across the target. So you go left 1, left 3, bullseye, right 3, right 1, and then you got to hit a clutch to finish your set. And they tied that, and the next stage of the tiebreaker is a bull off. So they're both throwing bullseyes until one of them misses, and they both threw 15, which is the maximum we allow because we don't have all night to stay here. Because I feel like they probably could have just thrown bullseyes all night.
We still would have been watching it this morning.
And so we made that adjustment to the rules just in last year's summer skills. And added the next phase of the tiebreaker, which is once you get those 15 bullseyes, then we go to clutches and we go clutch off. And in the past, when we made that change, I think we went to 4 clutches. And last night they went to 26.
So it was they went to
16.
They were tied, and on 16 they both missed.
Which means they keep going.
And it ended on, I believe, the 24th clutch.
24, that's right.
So it was 24 thrown clutches, 23 hit. And I mean,
and the fact that they both missed the same one
and
was incredible.
just an unbelievable thing to watch. Everybody standing, everybody cheering, and it got to a point where it was just people weren't even clapping for the clutches anymore. It was just like, oh my God, this is unbelievable.
Yeah, you know it's special when the crowd is erupting and then they get like solemnly silent.
Yeah.
So everybody's just in like jaws are on the floor going, what am I watching? They're still hitting these.
Yeah.
It was amazing. Here we go.
The one thing
that was not a good. You can see the reaction from Haz-Matt there. That made him nervous. That one. and that one was enough to concede that round to Kump. Looks like they both went for clutches at the beginning of their points, but then they switched back to going for points.
And this was something I was talking to a few of the people from Philly about. Is the Big Axe game takes a while to really get that Big Axe clutch dialed in. For some people, even years. So for both these two young competitors coming in here, I'm not surprised at all that we'll give a couple of clutches a try, but we're not going to stay here all night trying to master these clutches. We might as well go to points and just keep playing the game. And
that's another one that they talked to each other and decided. They threw their first Big Axe is to break paint, which means then they're going to points. They talked. They said, okay, clink of the axe heads. We're both going clutch. They did a couple of attempts, and they both decided we're going back to points. And that's where Kump took it, with a bullseye over that.
As much as the culture of the game is when you go to Big Axe after you clear that breaking paint stage, most people just expect to go to the Big Axe. But even myself in regionals in Detroit this year, which is a beautiful venue, by the way, if you ever get a chance to go out there, it's amazing. But my first round, I went to Big Axe, and I was like, okay, so we're going clutches? And the guy was like, what? I've never thrown a Big Axe clutch before in my life.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh, okay, I guess we're doing points. And it ended up costing me the match. So it's funny how you think somebody that's used to throwing Big Axe clutches might be the person that just thinks they've got it in the bag, but then
you still got to be able to throw those bullseyes too.
Exactly.
And when you say that it's assumed that the Big Axe clutch is happening, I mean we're talking that assumption was really only today and at the Baltimore Open,
right?
And maybe at NATC,
right?
In the final match.
But I think that NATC game, I think that final at the NATC has really set a precedent because I'm finding now, even in my regular league, at a venue that's only been open for a year, for the top throwers out of that venue, it's the second we go to Big Axe, we're going clutches because we're all thinking, well, we might as well throw it now because we're going to be throwing it at nationals. So
yep, they're doing it because they know that's the level the game is at. If they want to win the biggest tournaments
that's where
like
you
today.
need to be to win something like today's tournament. So
these two are dialed in now with bullseyes on these Big Axes. They really got it figured out now. So we're doing points, and that's another bullseye for Kump. I think he's done 2 or 3 in a row now. And now they're just discussing, and now they're both going for clutch. So they've both thrown enough bullseyes that they're going to try and decide it now with the clutch. Whereas last time the clutch wasn't working in their favor, so they stepped back.
A little low, so Kump has a chance to put it away.
I think, yeah.
No.
It's no good.
No good.
Okay.
Kump with the bird's eye view there. Tall man could see before any of us could. So
and this is Kump's chance, but he's going to be going clutch because that's what they agreed on. Nice deep breath to relax.
Oh, just
dice.
Low.
Okay. We're sticking with clutches. You see a little head nod, eye contact, little head nod. We're staying on the clutch train. Not quite.
Just high. Here we go. Another chance for Kump to take it. There it is. Wow.
There we go. And I think that's the match
right
for
there.
Kump. That's right. Still 3 out of 5. So nice work. And that's still a bracket, I think. So that's Haz-Matt's first loss, if I'm not mistaken.
Wow.
Great match.
That was so.
Okay, but again, both of these last 2 matches a little bit shaky with the Big Axe clutch. We've seen some periods today where you looked around and everybody was hitting that Big Axe clutch on their first throw. So I think as you get farther down the competition, yes, you're getting the people that have been throwing the best today, but the spotlight and the pressure becomes higher.
And also the time throwing, right? Like we've been here, we came in, started warm-ups at 9 a.m. And it's already what?
It's 20 to 5. Yeah, we're at 4:30 here.
So yeah,
it's been a long time.
We got a big day. So when you're throwing all day, like you might have been hitting all those Big Axe clutches for the first 3 hours of the day, but if you're going to be in it till the end, you got to be ready to throw those Big Axe clutches all day.
It's one of the things that I really love about the way we've set up the NATF rules. I think for me, I just love that nobody wins quickly. you gotta earn it. You gotta be consistent. you got to throw bullseyes, minimum. We do 3 out of 5 in the beginning of these tournaments. So you got to throw, even if you're going to sweep, you got to throw 15 good throws, really good throws to take that win. And these matches, when we get into this level, we're still in best 3 out of 5 now. Soon we'll be hitting best 4 out of 7.
And 4 out of 7 can get real long. Like if I don't know if you were following the you were probably at the GTA regionals, I'm guessing, where Julio and Starling just going.
Right. I wasn't at that one actually.
Oh, you weren't at that one.
Spot. No.
Oh, okay.
No, so I missed that one, but they went on forever. Eh?
Yeah, it was 7 rounds. I believe 6 of the 7 rounds were 27s for both, and then decided by Big Axe. But there was one round where they both agreed to go for bullseyes, just to break up the monotony of hitting clutches all day. So that was a
Big Axe choice.
Yeah,
they decided just to
no,
stick.
that was for the regular hatchet rounds, which I thought was pretty hilarious. Like obviously both of these guys can hit the clutches all day. So for somebody to say, hey, why don't we go for bullseyes, just to make it interesting, change it up a little bit.
Well, that really is where the competition's at right now. It's If you're not going 4 bullseyes clutch, 4 bullseyes clutch, 4 bullseyes clutch.
I mean,
Big Axe bullseye, Big Axe clutch.
Something else to think about here, right? Like a perfect game, if you throw all bullseyes, you're looking at 75 points. And I would say most of the competitors we're looking at coming into these next rounds are throwing over a 75 average.
Yeah. And so that's, to clarify there, that's a standard match formatted league, which is 3 rounds of 5 axes per round, where the bullseye's worth 5, and then the middle ring is 3, outer ring is 1. The clutch being 7, but only available on your 5th throw. So that 75 number comes from 15 bullseyes, essentially 3 rounds of 5 bullseyes each round. That's a perfect match.
Right.
Before you factor in
a perfect match before people just. Because I guess we should speak to this, but originally, back in when I was introduced to axe throwing, the clutch was like, it was like a prayer. It was like a save yourself move.
If you good luck, pal.
Yeah, like if you, since it's worth 7, it was on the last throw. The idea was the person who's in the lead throws first, and that clutch gives you the opportunity to maybe catch up if you're down by 2.
Yeah, we called it that Hail Mary thing for years, and that mentality around it was that it was a desperate attempt to get back in the game.
Right.
And the odds of hitting it were incredibly low.
Yeah.
That is not where we're at.
That is not the case anymore. We're now at a point where those Hail Mary attempts don't exist anymore. It's just minor errors once in a while.
Yeah.
So, and that change has been maybe the last 2 years.
Really, the last 2 years, and then in the last year you add in the Big Axe clutch, which didn't exist.
Because originally it was everybody was throwing for the bullseye. And then,
that was hard enough. And
right.
That was enough for you to win.
And then they jacked it up to everybody had to throw for the clutch, and that was enough for you to win. And now we have to hit the Big Axe clutches because everybody's hitting the clutches on the hatchets now. So
it's been really exciting to watch the sport evolve and the competition level shoot
from your backyard to Philadelphia.
It's crazy.
Well, New Jersey in this case.
Yeah,
but
it's been a long time, but those last few years have been a real great ride, man. It's been a blast to watch it grow. Okay, so here we go. Big Will, Julio.
Julio coming off of a regionals win.
Yeah.
And
Big Will, obviously, just his last match that we were able to give you some commentary on was that win against Stefan, which is a huge notch in the belt for Big Will. Stefan being one of the most decorated, if not the most decorated axe thrower there is.
Having one of our top records with most consecutive bullseyes in a season at 225, which is just astronomical.
Which I believe he had to do spanning over more than one season because he just threw an entire season of bullseyes, and then the next season started and he continued the streak.
Wow.
It's a little ridiculous.
Just crazy.
Yeah. Unfortunately, Strawn couldn't make it down here for this particular tournament. He's the current reigning NETC champion who dethroned Stefan earlier this year in February 2018 up in Toronto. But he has a couple of other pretty astronomical records up there as well, but no one's been able to topple that Stefan bullseye streak.
No.
And I don't know if anyone ever will, although I should probably just jinx myself by saying it. Somebody's going to do it in the next 3 months.
Yeah, I was going to say I don't know if you can't jinx Stefan on it, but I'm sure somebody else could take a try. Hello, Julio.
All right. So that was the first big axe throw from Big Will. Is that right? Yeah.
Yes.
There we go.
So we're breaking paint now.
And now let's see if they decide. I'm guessing. Yeah, there
We're
you go.
going
You're
clutches.
Big Will.
Here it is.
I got to live in the clutch world. He says it's time to go upstairs.
Oh.
Okay.
A little high.
No luck for Big Will on that big axe clutch. So Julio's throwing second. He has a chance here to take the round. Oh, just outside.
It's so funny watching the demeanor of the competitors because they're all having so much fun, laughing, joking around, and then they put their foot on that line and their face just goes cold and their eyes just lock on that target.
Yep. It's all fun until the moment you throw.
Yeah.
You got to lock in. Here we go. Let's see what Julio's got on this throw. Another chance for him to take the round. There it is.
There it is. Round one to Julio.
Julio's big axe clutch game has been on
Just
point
phenomenal.
all day today.
Unbelievable. I was talking to one of the competitors that played Julio in an earlier round, and I had asked the guy how he threw against Julio, and he said, I threw 1-3, so I lost. And I think that's a great characterization of the quality of Julio's axe throwing game. It's just undeniable.
One mistake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But let's keep in mind here, this is a B bracket match, so someone did take the beast.
Yeah.
At some point today.
At some point, Julio did take a loss.
Yeah.
Looks like Big Will is good there. See how he checks with Julio when the axe is between 2-point values. You always check with your opponent. If your opponent agrees that the majority is in the higher value, you go ahead and take those points, and you continue throwing. If there'd been disagreement, that's when the device would be brought in to measuring with the paint in your favor. And here we go, going for clutch. Boom, both got it.
We got two.
Nice.
And you'll notice that when they're lining up for the clutch, we try to make sure we take a break in our commentary because one of the biggest fouls you can do as a spectator is speak in somebody's backswing. So you always got to make sure you take that pause before they throw it at the target.
I don't know. It depends. I may or may not have heckled one or two people during their backswing in my time.
I think when you've got cash prizes on the line, that's just bad form. So I try to keep it to a minimum when we're at tournaments like this.
Yeah, I definitely have heckled friends in league nights.
Oh
during
yeah,
playoffs.
the league is a whole other story. I'm just there to bully my friends. That's why I keep coming back.
You're right. When the money's on the line and we're in these final stages, you got to respect the focus.
The entire venue was silent for that throw.
That's the first time I could hear the music.
Yeah. It's crazy. It's just it comes up and then just slides away.
Marcus just had a tough miss with his big axe, and the next lane's next to us. He's facing off against Starling. Marcus has had a great run so far today, but
one of our youngest competitors here.
Yes. But Starling has been a monster.
Just dynamite also, all weekend. So Julio and Starling, I believe, took doubles last night.
Yeah.
And then
I'd say, without looking back at the list and seeing all the names in it right now, I feel like Starling and Julio are the guys that I could see in the final or semifinal. I think they're both. I think because Starling is still in A bracket. I think.
Yeah. So
I could see that being a final.
Yeah, but I really don't want to.
Nice, Marcus. Marcus just hit that big axe clutch, and the lane's next to the match.
Wow.
Huge. Julio turns around. Why aren't you guys cheering for us? Starling just missed, so Marcus took a took a round on that neighboring lane there. Okay, and we're continuing on the bullseye streak.
But what I was going to say, especially after the clutch off performance last night, I would say don't count Kump out. This kid is a monster.
Absolutely.
A drop, I would not.
That's tough.
Did not see that coming. That's a tough break.
Yeah. You can see even a couple of the spectators, hands in the air, hands over their mouth, disbelief that Big Will dropped an axe. He's not feeling too good about that. But them's the breaks.
Yeah. It's definitely not it's especially if the axe hit exactly what you were aiming for and it just slides out.
Yeah.
Definitely heartbreaking.
Yeah, you can see Big Will's kind of
choking around.
Letting this one go. That was the last
Throwing
round.
the underhand. So there it is.
All right. I'm going to, Mr. Redbeard, I'm going to step away and
I think we're going
to do a little spectating.
We're going to hop out of here and get some other people to come in.
Yeah, we got some other people that are going to come and talk with you guys, talk with you some of these other matches. But thanks for sticking around with us. Another match is coming up soon, and enjoy the show.
Always a pleasure.
Yeah, thanks, buddy. It was great.